Okay, hello, welcome to another video. So today I've come down to a lake which is a float fishing only lake, but it's got some big carp in, potentially up to 20 pound I believe, in the lake we're going to be fishing. It's quite a deep lake. There's also some more unusual species that I'd like to catch. There's also tench, bream, roach rudd, all the usual stuff. As I say, it's float fishing only, so that's obviously the way we're going to go, but quite heavy tackle due to the larger fish. We'll keep you with me. It's only me, I'm on my own filming, so I'm not sure how the footage will turn out, but hopefully it'll be alright. And I will see you later down by the lake. Well, just arrived at the lake. This is a corner I've chosen to fish, partly because it's out of the wind, so hopefully you'll be able to hear me. There's a lot of road noise as well, so it's good for the camera. Secondly, I've seen a lot of bubbles and swirls come up now. As I say, it's float fishing only, don't know why, but we're going to go about 4 foot deep, which is about, I'll plumbed it up out there. Now I'm going to fish a couple of inches over depth for the bottom grubbing species, and I'll talk you through that a bit later on. This is a sturgeon. Now I knew there were a few of these in here, but I didn't really expect to catch one, so I'm pretty over the moon with that. It's probably £4, but that's my first ever sturgeon, so that's nice. There are some bigger ones in here, and I did kind of want to catch one of these, so I'm really happy at that. I'm not sure what species it is, there's a few in here, but that's a turn up for the books, isn't it? After some research online, I found out that this species is called the Atlantic or common European sturgeon, a species that used to be found in our seas and occasionally in our rivers such as the Avon, Thames and Severn. However, these haven't been seen for a very long time in our rivers, and occasionally they turn up on our coasts. But I was pleased to catch my first sturgeon nonetheless. Well, since we're struggling for a bite, I thought I'd just better explain exactly how I'm fishing. I'm basically float fishing luncheon meat and feeding sweet corn. Now, I would be feeding scretins pellets ideally. I thought I had some in my bag, but it turns out I didn't, so I've got some sweet corn on the way now. I'm not using proper fishing luncheon meat. I prefer to just use simple spam. That's all it is. Cubes about, I'd say, about that big on the hook. Quite rough, I don't cut them to, you know, uniform cube size. Just rough pellets like that. And I'm fishing about a rod length out, and I'm fishing a couple of centimetres over depth. That's all I'm doing, so we'll keep going, and hopefully I get some nice big carp. There's a nice carp, guys. Comfortably into double figures. say that's around 10 to 11 pound. I'll give him a quick weigh, but I'm really glad we got that one. Fantastic fish. Now, since I got the sturgeon, I thought I'd go for one of these. After getting this carp on the scales, I actually found out that this mirror weighed 12 pounds 10 ounces. There's a nice bream, guys, about £1.5 pounds. I set the camera going because I thought it was a nice carp or something, and then of course it just didn't fight at all, so I just filmed netting a bream, but not to worry, it's nice to get a bite because the swim's pretty slow, so I'll pop this one back. This is what a bream does to your line. Look at that. Nice and slimy with bream slime. It's just probably worth me mentioning, you've probably found this yourselves if you fish with meat. You'll often get little lifts and nudges on the float as little fish nibble the bait, and you've got to try and be disciplined and ignore those and wait for the float to properly sail away before setting the hook. Just save you striking into nothing, because we're using quite big hooks, so you tend not to catch the things that are giving you the tiny little bites, so with meat it's worth persevering a bit. Well, I've just been for a walk and there's a lot more activity down the other end of the lake. There's bubbling, there's swirling and stuff, and I just think where we are isn't the best place anymore, so I'm glad we went for a walk. It's always worth a say, just have a stroll, see if there's anything going on. So I'm going to try a few puttings down there and see if we get one. Fantastic fish. Sturgeon, different species this time. I'm over the moon at that. That's a really nice fish. I can't be 100% sure, but I'm pretty confident this fish was the Russian, also known as the diamondback sturgeon. Well, I'm really pleased with what happened there. I hadn't had a bite for ages down in the swim. I'd spent ages in baiting up, and it's very hard to leave a swim that you've baited up, but I came for a walk down here, reeled the rod in, checked it out, and there was so much more activity going on. And as soon as I dropped in, about 5 minutes, I had a fish, and what a beautiful sturgeon that was. Different species, I think maybe that was a diamondback sturgeon. I'm not sure what it was. I'm not sure of the species. I'd rather be catching, you know, white sturgeon in Canada. This is obviously not their native range, they're not indigenous here, but for a novelty factor it's nice to see them. I'm fishing really for big carp, but I can't complain at that, and it really makes it worth going for a little stalking session and just sneaking one out the corner, so I'm overjoyed at that. Unfortunately, the footage of me holding and talking about this fish was pretty bad, so I'll pop in this picture. This is the same species as the first fish. Now I didn't weigh any of these as they're quite fragile fish by the seams of it, but they're all about £5, certainly between 4 and 6. Well, to conclude, I think I've had a fantastic session. I've had to work hard for every bite I've had, which makes it a bit more rewarding. It's not a runs water. It is sort of, you do approach it as a hard water. It's known to be one. But we had 6 fish, I think. There was also a roach that I didn't film. Sorry, it's just a roach. By the time I got the camera done, it would have been back. But we had those 3 beautiful sturgeon. First sturgeon for me. As I say, I would rather be catching them in their native, range, but I'll take them from here. It's a novelty. It's nice to see, and they're quite powerful fish. They do pull quite hard when you hook them on the floats. I was really surprised because the fish are only about £6–7. I think I had 2 species of sturgeon. One was sort of that diamondy one was the sort of more duller, slimy, less bony one. It didn't have the sort of scutes that the other ones did. And a nice big carp, a £12, which was nice. I was really fishing for them technically, but I did really want to get a sturgeon, so I'm glad I did. And then we also got a bream and a roach and bits and bobs to keep the float going under, so I'm really happy with that. I hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe, and I hope you watch the next one. Bye.